around and there's like nothing that you're like selling or working on or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you just have all that like energy, but like nowhere to put it. And then like Jason gets the double phone call, and then legitimately we decide to jump up, and the only rational thing we could do at the time was just
somebody's at the door.
Break a shit ton of chairs.
So you just started breaking chairs?
So we started breaking chairs immediately.
Yeah. Well, we had these chairs that were for our dinner parties. And, of course, we weren't going to be throwing any dinner parties anytime soon.
So you just started throwing the chairs around.
So we walked outside, started smashing these chairs, and then, like,
just to get the excitement out.
Yeah, and as we're smashing the chairs, like, the vice president of, like, Northern California UPS shows up outside our door. And we're like, oh, hey, how you guys doing over there? Don't mind these chairs. Just walk right over.
So they come in and they're like, are you guys serious? Or was he kind of impressed with the setup?
Well, they have been doing this a long time. You know, so
they've seen it all.
Yeah, so they get excited when they see, like, businesses that were at our stage. They're like, are you guys working out of here? We're like, yeah, we do everything out of here. Do you guys live here? We're like, yeah, we live here. They're like, that's awesome.
Yeah, they love hustlers. Okay.
Because they've seen, like, you know what I mean, businesses go from being in someone's garage to massive.
Yeah, for sure.
So they know the game.
Yeah.
And then when we tell them that we just got the call about Shark Tank, they're like, all right, well, let's put a deal together. Because we're trying to get really good shipping rates so that we could grow the business. And they did. They stepped up to the plate.
Cool. Fucking awesome. That's a good one. And then, what month is this to give a frame reference of time?
So it would have been, at this stage...
May?
So it was earlier than that because the pandemic hadn't hit yet. So we were still, in that first video, we were still pitching the Truffle products.
Oh, right. Okay, got you. So you got onto Shark Tank pitching something that you no longer do.
Yeah.
Basically, right?
And then I think there's another level, and so we submitted, we hadn't heard anything for a minute, so we submitted a video telling them about our pivot.
Got you. Okay.
So we go to the open casting call, we send in this video, we hadn't heard anything, feedback from that video, so we sent in a video and a letter telling them about our pivot, and the meal donations we're doing, the number of people that we've hired, and...
so showing them growth.
Showing them growth and that we weren't like dead in the water.
Yeah, for sure.
And then they started reaching out to us more and setting up interviews.
Setting stuff up, okay.
Yeah.
What were the interviews like? Just preliminary, informational kind of things?
You know, they ask a lot of questions and
yeah.
You're very nervous the whole time.
How long are these sessions?
It was like an hour.
Yeah, an hour each. How many sessions in total?
You know, it started out, we did one, and then they send you all this information. Basically, you do a session, and then they send you, like, they're like, okay, now here's 40 hours worth of work of stuff that we need you to get back to us.
Yeah, right.
And we're like, all right, well, let's figure out how to get all this organized. Mm. And then you would submit it all to them, and then you have another like session, and then you start working on like the pitch, and then this, and then that, and then eventually you get the call for your pitch date, and then you start organizing your travel arrangements.
Mm-hmm. Now, that's a whole nother endeavor, right? Because we're in pandemic.
Yeah.
So, what did you guys have to do?
Well, the thing is you get the phone call, and then you have about 2 weeks to get all your stuff organized. So, at the time, we were in this other kitchen over in Emeryville, right? And so, we're over there. The team is working. You know what I mean? It always happens at a time like this, but it's like, you know, we just had a few people, like, quit or leave or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're already understaffed. We got too much stuff going on, and you know, I think that week we had like committed to the week that we got the phone call letting us know we had to go down there. We had committed to doing an event for like 800 people. You know? So, no joke, we did 800 ice cream cookie sandwiches. I shit you not. And, like, it was, like, during that week that we get the phone call, and it's like, oh, my God, me and Jason, who legitimately at the time, we're still packing all the boxes and cooking all the classes and everything. And then we get the phone call, and it's like, all right, you know, now Jay and Tyler have to organize a way for us to be completely gone for basically 2 weeks. Like, 2 weeks from right this second. You know what I mean? And we're just like, how are we going to do that? You know?
So we had to bring in chefs to do the classes.
Yeah.
We had to make sure the team was beefed up.
Yeah.
We put Sarah in charge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sarah's in charge. That was when Ian was like, all right, Ian, you know what I mean? Like,
step up.
You got to handle all of this shit. And then, like, Daniel, too, like, and Ivy, you know what I mean? You guys legitimately are driving the bus, and there is no one. We're not here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we were the COVID season. So normally, I'm pretty sure normally what happens is you go down there and you're there for what, like 2 or 3 days, and then you come back. But because we're the COVID season, we had to go to the Venetian where they had created a bubble.
Okay.
Right? So we had to go there, check in, and we had to quarantine for 8 days before we could even go onto the show. So legitimately, you got me and Jason. We have to be in a room. We couldn't even go in the hallway. Couldn't like do anything like that. Had to be in this room for 8 entire days.
Just room service and for food and shit, or what?
Yep.
Yeah.
We got meals 3 times a day.
We got meals 3 times a day from the mother.
Whoa.
By day 2, Tyler was like, how long have we been here? And I was like, Tyler, we've always been here.
So it was like the fucking abyss.
Well, legitimately, you get to a point where, like, you have zero human interaction between the two of us, right? And so, legitimately, well, and the thing is, too, is me and Jared are like, oh, dude, we're going to have this time off. We're going to, like, get the 5-year game plan together. We're going to, like, get all this shit super organized. Like, no, dude, we're there literally doing the pitch.
Yeah.
20 hours a day for 8 days straight. You know what I mean? Try not to forget what we're trying to say.
Yeah.
And legitimately, the thing that you look forward to is the food that shows up 3 times a day.
Oh, okay.
And so we're like, oh my god.
That's the only thing that
we're like this magical
reference of time.
Exactly. it's like, you know, it's like we're here, but thankfully the mother Venetian is taking care of us, keeping us sustained for this journey right now.
You guys were in shark-infested waters.
Yeah. We're like, we must present to the Council of Sharks in order to leave Mother Venetian to be ready to go back into the world.
So you brainwashed yourselves.
Yo, we legitimately had a toy shark, and we set it up in the corner, and we used to pray to it every single morning. We would pray in the Mother Venetian to the Council of Sharks.
Yeah.
And what we would do is we had a gigantic window. It was looking at Treasure Island. I will never forget Senor Frogs.
Oh, yeah.
We just watched Senor Frogs all day long. And legitimately, me and James used to stand there with our heads pressed against the window and just pitch while we were staring at the outside world. And then we used to just like be like, do you remember what it was like?
To be out there with all those peeps.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
And then when that quarantine comes to an end, you go right into pitching?
Yeah, I mean, legitimately, it was like there was one, basically the night before.
Yeah, we got to get out a little early to make the food.
We were allowed to go downstairs to make like the tortellinis and the, you know what I mean, make the broth, like do the mise en place, you know. But you know, then we'd go back upstairs, and that was the first time we had seen human beings in 8 days. Like, besides just me and Jason and randomly the guy that would bring us food that we could hustle sometimes to bring us some ice. You know what I mean? From time to time.
For cocktails.
Yeah.
Sometimes we could... Yeah, we got these ridiculous, like, cocktail mixers. There's so much sugar in them. They're terrible. Whatever that company was.
On the rocks.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to just Coca-Cola, guys?
I don't know. I mean,
Christ.
Try sticking yourself in a hotel room for 8 days. Tell me the kind of decisions you make at that time.
That's true. I mean... Jack Nicholson made a documentary about that, you know?
Yeah, it's crazy.
He ended up frozen.
It's pretty cool.
Like, watching Rocky eating the hotel spaghetti pre-made on the rocks. margaritas and stuff.
Yeah, we had a whole bunch of E40 Slurricane.
Oh yeah, Slurricane.
We brought a bunch of Slurricane.
Good.
Yeah.
Good work.
Yeah.
So
was
then, 8 days you test, and where do they bring you? Like, where's this happening? The casting call. And how many people are there? How many other groups?
So a lot of this we're not allowed to talk about, and they kept pretty secret to us.
Heard.
So we were in like a wing, and the other rooms were other participants.
So you could hear the chatter through the wall.
Well, we would open the door and look out there and be like,
And then they'd be like, close the door!
is anybody else out there? Well, we didn't know, you know what I mean? Like, maybe they just gave us a floor to ourselves.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and so,
Are we in the tank?
because me and Tyler we're in conjoined rooms, but then sometimes they would just bring, like, his food or our food, and we're like, yo, could you just bring both the meals to this room here?
Right.
That's weird.
Yeah, they were so lame about
Yeah.
And then they would get mad at us if we wanted extra things, you know? We're like, come on, just go get the ice. Just get some ice.
Put the ice bucket out with a note on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, please give a man some ice.
That's awesome. Oh, man.
And so basically, they took us down into like a big ballroom, and
They just released you
they
on the sharks.
they did a unbelievable job about like the bubble and keeping everyone safe.
Oh,
yeah.
Insane.
And so, I mean, all in all, I mean, it was a great experience. We would watch, you know, like the chefs we hired to do the cooking classes, like checking them on it every once in a while.
Cool, man.
And then, but basically, we go down big ballroom and they bring in like, I don't know, like 4 people a day, 4 entrepreneurs a day.
Gotcha.
And you're down there, you do your hair and makeup, and you get ready to go in front of the sharks, and it's like, at this point, like 8 months worth of work.
Yeah, so you're like ready.
And like
so fucking ready.
the whole time you're in that process, like once you get through that video submission, every week it's like a second job.
Yeah.
So you're like, you have to get all these random things organized, you know?
And how... So you both are pitching at the same time?
To the sharks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do you do that tandemly? Like, how does that work between the two of you?
So we practiced a pitch where we're like, I said a line, he said a line, we said the same lines at the same time, and just nonstop practiced it.
Hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. Till you put it in your nervous system.
Do you guys got it for me right now or what?
I think we literally erased it.
Yeah. For real. Yeah. I mean, we legitimately used to do the pitch, like, we'd get in a cold shower. We'd turn, like, literally, Jason would be in his shower in his room. I'd be in my shower in my room. We'd have our phones in there, and we'd be pitching while getting hit with ice cold water, right? That was one method. Another method, which was honestly the hardest, was we would do our pitch and play Jerry Springer on a TV right next to us. And be, without a doubt, without fail, we would pitch upside down. We would do all this stuff. The Jerry Springer one was the hardest way to do pitching in the entire world.
Some crazy shit going on.
Well, legitimately, you're pitching and then like you hear someone say the most outlandish thing you've ever imagined in your life. And you're just like, what does that human being look like? Like, it's so hard to not look.
That's awesome.
We can give you the little this piece right here. So originally we were debating between going out there in suits or not going out there in suits. So we ultimately settled with the shirts. You want to do this part, Tyler?
Yeah.
Hello, Sharks. My name is Jason.
My name's Tyler.
We're seeking $500,000 for 5% of
Truffle Shuffle.
So, and then the second part changed a lot. This is pitch script 3. By the end of this, we had 13.
Yeah, we're on pitch script 13.
Yeah, completely memorized and then completely erased.
I mean, that was so hard to remember the lines.
And
Not
then
good at remembering the lines.
Did you guys write it?
You work